Stop hustling, start healing. The radical revolution of receiving what you deserve. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Dr. Dré Cleveland, a visionary whose work isn't just reshaping how we think about success, it's shattering the entire paradigm of manifestation and personal transformation. Dr. Cleveland stands as a beacon in these chaotic times, illuminating a path not just for survival, but for genuine liberation, particularly for Black women navigating systems that were never designed with their well being in mind. What makes Dr. Cleveland's message so revolutionary is that she dares to speak a truth that directly challenges everything we've been force fed about achievement. While the world screams, hustle harder, she whispers a more powerful truth. Your capacity to receive abundance depends not on working yourself to exhaustion, but on healing yourself to wholeness. Today, I'm sharing wisdom from our conversation that has the power to transform not just individual lives, but entire communities. Because what Dr. Cleveland offers isn't another productivity hack or self help strategy. It's freedom, it's permission to exist differently in a world that profits from your exhaustion. We've all heard the conventional wisdom about manifestation, haven't we? Visualize harder, affirm louder, hustle longer, push through the pain, sleep when you're dead. The message hammers at us from every direction. If you want success, you must earn it through relentless effort and sacrifice. But what if that entire framework is fundamentally dangerously flawed? What if the real obstacle to receiving what you desire isn't that you're not doing enough, but that your nervous system doesn't feel safe enough to let abundance in? This was the first profound insight from my conversation with Dr. Cleveland. Manifestation isn't about hustling harder, it's about feeling safe enough to receive. Sit with that for a moment. How many of us have been conditioned to believe that rest must be earned, that love must be deserved, that abundance must be achieved through sacrifice, that our worth is measured by our productivity? These beliefs don't emerge from nowhere. They are often rooted in wounds and conditioning that run generations deep. For Black women, especially, there's a historical context that can't be ignored, a legacy where safety often depended on hyper vigilance, where visibility could mean vulnerability, where rest could be mistaken for laziness. Consider the remarkable story of Dr. Helen Octavia Dickens, who became the first African American woman OBGYN fellow in America. Throughout her groundbreaking career, Dr. Dickens faced relentless racism and sexism. She was consistently undervalued despite working harder than her peers. The conventional wisdom of her time would have suggested that the solution was simply to work even harder, to prove herself beyond any shadow of doubt. But Dr. Dickens discovered something revolutionary. She realized that focusing on internal resilience, prioritizing her own well being while advocating for Black women's health needs was not selfish, but essential. This wasn't just self care, as we often frame it today, bubble baths and face masks. This was radical self preservation in a system designed to extract everything from her while giving little in return. Dr. Dickens understood that sustainable impact required self care. This insight enabled her not only to survive, but to thrive, establishing clinics, serving Black communities, and mentoring generations of physicians. Her legacy teaches us that internal healing combined with refusing self abandonment leads not just to personal success, but to systemic change. This is precisely what Dr. Cleveland emphasized in our conversation. The path to transformation begins with healing, not hustling, which brings me to the second key insight. You don't have to abandon yourself to level up. How many of us have internalized the belief that success requires sacrifice, specifically the sacrifice of our own needs, boundaries, and well being? How many of us have postponed joy, thinking, I'll rest when I've made it, or I'll be happy when I achieve this goal? This mindset creates a perpetual state of self abandonment. We're always chasing a future moment when we'll finally be worthy of care, never fully present with ourselves now. And let me tell you something, that future moment never arrives. There's always another goal, another milestone, another mountain. If you can't love yourself at mile 1 of the marathon, you won't suddenly start at mile 26. The Girl Get Your Life Together community, known as GGYLT, offers a powerful counter narrative. This lifestyle movement supports Black women ready to heal emotional wounds, love themselves unapologetically, and manifest lives rooted in peace and power. Many members arrive exhausted from hustle culture, feeling unworthy unless they're overperforming, even when it leads them away from their authentic selves. What makes GGYLT revolutionary is its approach, offering music journeys like Black Girl Manifest, coaching circles prioritizing nervous system safety, retreats centering rest as resistance, and digital content reframing manifestation as energetic alignment, not endless effort. The results speak volumes. Members report breakthroughs like setting healthy boundaries without guilt, attracting new opportunities with less struggle, and experiencing deeper joy even amidst growth challenges. They are discovering that true transformation starts with healing before hustling, loving yourself through the process, not just at the finish line, and reclaiming rest as a radical act. In a world that profits from your exhaustion, choosing rest isn't just self care, it's a revolutionary stance against systems designed to extract your labor while convincing you that you're never doing enough. This brings us to Dr. Cleveland's third crucial insight. Sisterhood is power. Solo survival is not required for greatness. We've been fed a narrative that success is a solitary journey, that we must compete rather than collaborate, that asking for help signals weakness. This narrative is particularly damaging for Black women who have historically carried the weight of both racial and gender discrimination while being expected to demonstrate superhuman strength. But what if the most revolutionary act is to lean into community, to share our burdens and our triumphs, to recognize that together we can shift from merely surviving to genuinely thriving? On TikTok, the creator known as Paging Dr. Dre offers a powerful example of this principle in action. She creates content spotlighting how care is too often delayed or dismissed when it comes to Black women's health concerns and why self worth must be reclaimed daily. As she powerfully states, a lot of times care is delayed because Black women's symptoms are not taken seriously. Her platform blends practical advice with affirmations, encouraging followers not just to survive, but to glow up authentically. She models resting without apology, even calling out medical systems that reward overwork while neglecting true wellness. After witnessing repeated dismissal of her own pain and those around her, she decided sharing these truths openly could help others break cycles of self neglect passed down through generations. The impact has been profound. Followers report increased confidence advocating for themselves inside and outside clinical spaces. This exemplifies how everyday advocacy and energetic realignment can create ripples of transformation. It shows us that manifestation isn't another hustle, it's coming home fully embodied and unapologetically worthy. These three insights from Dr. Cleveland That manifestation is about feeling safe to receive, that self abandonment isn't required for success, and that sisterhood is essential for thriving. Challenge everything we've been taught about achievement and fulfillment. But here's where theory meets practice. How do we actually implement these insights in our daily lives? First, we must recognize that our nervous systems carry wisdom. When we feel resistance to receiving good things, whether it's love, money, rest, or recognition, that resistance often stems from protective mechanisms developed in response to past wounds. Rather than pushing through or ignoring these signals, we can gently inquire, what part of me doesn't feel safe receiving this blessing? What old story am I still carrying? Second, we can practice loving ourselves through the process of growth, not just at the destination. This means setting boundaries that honor our needs. It means celebrating small victories. It means treating ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a beloved friend. Third, we can intentionally cultivate community. This doesn't mean surrounding ourselves with just anyone. It means creating or joining spaces where we can be fully seen and supported, where our struggles are met with understanding rather than judgment, where our successes are celebrated without envy. The beauty of these practices is that they don't require us to abandon ambition or lower our standards. Quite the opposite. When we heal the wounds that keep us in patterns of overwork and under receiving, when we love ourselves through the journey rather than postponing joy until some future achievement, when we lean into supportive community rather than isolating in our struggles, we actually expand our capacity to create meaningful impact in the world. This is the revolutionary message at the heart of Dr. Cleveland's work. True transformation isn't about fixing what's broken, it's about remembering what was always whole. So I challenge you today. What if everything you've been taught about success is backward? What if the path to your greatest manifestations isn't paved with exhaustion, but illuminated by healing? What if your worthiness isn't something to be earned, but something to be remembered? I dare you to put your hand on your heart right now. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm hasn't skipped a beat since before you were born, not when you failed, not when you succeeded, not when you hustled, not when you rested. Your heart has been faithfully serving you without demanding that you prove yourself worthy of its next beat. What would change if you treated yourself with that same unconditional support? Tonight, I want you to do something radical. Take 5 minutes in complete silence. Put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, where am I still hustling when I could be healing? Where am I abandoning myself in pursuit of external validation? Then write down one thing, just one thing that you are willing to receive without apology this week. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's help, maybe it's love, maybe it's abundance, and practice receiving it fully, not because you've earned it through blood, sweat, and tears, but because it is your birthright. Remember these words. You get your life together by remembering yourself, not fixing what was never broken. The most revolutionary act in a world obsessed with productivity isn't producing more. It's receiving fully. It's standing in your dignity and allowing yourself to be nourished by what has always been yours to claim: love, joy, rest, and abundance. Not because you've earned it through hustle, but because you've remembered who you've always been.